Welcome to BrokenGrandAm, and today we're going to talk about mounts. This time we're just going to talk about replacement of all four as far as stock replacements goes. So as an overview, we know we have our engine mount over here. There's a rear transmission mount back here. There's a front transmission mount right here. And then underneath here from the fender well is the driver's side transmission mount. Some things that might make you want to change mounts is excessive shaking of your engine. These mounts are already kind of soft, so these engines do tend to kind of move a lot more than what you would think is acceptable. But you know, if you think is excessive, good chance the front transmission mount is pretty common to cause that. There's really no other problems that they would cause other than just excessive movement. So we'll go ahead and start with our motor mount, as it's the easiest and you don't have to lift your car for it. Now I don't have a bumper on this, but on a stock car you'll be able to slide the jack underneath and put tension or pressure on the block to hold it up while you change this one. Basically, to get to this one, you gotta remove your cruise control here, and then you'll see your mount there. So make sure you have a wood block on your jack, because you never want to lift metal to metal. Make sure you go, far to the left as you can, and still maintain a flat spot. That way you're more or less, putting more pressure on this side to kind of help with taking that out. They just put a little bit of pressure on there. So for the cruise control, all it is just you pry up on this end, tilt that out that way. This will fall out, just kind of set it aside. And then you kind of push it back in and pull it out, and that'll get your little bracket out. So like I said, we're gonna undo these 18 millimeters first. Now you may need a breaker bar, or like I said, if you have access to impacts, it'll only help your cause. Okay, so now those are out. Remove the two outer 15 millimeters. Alright, so as you get these outside 15s, before you start the job, it might not hurt to hit them with some PP Blaster or some other form of WD-40. And once you have that out, this comes right out of there. Okay, so here's what your engine mount looks like. As you see, it's kind of like a three-piece deal. So you have this upper plate, you have the actual bushing itself, and then this base plate. You buy just the base and the bushing, just take these two guys off, swap that over. You can buy the whole thing. It's really expensive, but you could literally just take the new one and put it in. Or if you're just buying this bushing, so not only are you going to take these two 15s off, you'll flip it over and you're going to take these two 15 millimeters off also, and you'll transfer over both the base and that top plate. So put this guy back in. You're going to want to line up these 18s first, get them going a few threads, and then go ahead and drive these guys down, and then we'll put our outers back on and then put our cruise control back on. Take the little bracket for your cruise control and put that in first. Set him back in place. Next we'll move on to our front one. So this one sits just in front of the driver's side fan. There's two 18s that go into the trans. There's one 18 that goes from the mount to the actual mounting point. So what we're gonna do is grab a flathead. We're gonna undo all those wire holders. So first for your fan, grab a 7mm and remove this shroud. There's 3 bolts total. 2 you'll see right in front of you, and then the other one's down below. Take our shroud out. Next you'll need a 10mm. There's 2 up top and 2 down below that hold the fan to the way. So the thing that holds the 2 fans, you can unbolt the fans separately. We'll grab our flathead again real quick. We're gonna undo the wiring on just this fan. Of course, the plug itself. So I'll go ahead and undo that. These top 2 first. Come down to the bottom here, and we're gonna remove this little plastic guard. It should be 2 of these, just kind of screws. And take that guard out. This is one there, and you can't see it, but you'll be able to, right about in there. Pretty much same place in the top, just at the bottom. And then kind of pop out of place, and then just pull up, leave wiring inside, and that's how you get a fan out. So then we got the fan out of the way, you'll see we have a lot more room to work with. So we'll go ahead and get the 2 top bolts that go into the trains here. Number 18, and you might need a breaker bar, probably wouldn't hurt. Okay. At this point, we're gonna go back down underneath, and we're gonna get that center bolt that goes straight through to unbolt the mount from the pedestal that it sits in. Okay, so right here is the bolt we're gonna be going after. So in my world, we call this a breaker bar. Okay. Pull that out, so there's a big bolt. Assuming you've got all your wires out of the holders, this will slide right out. And with a little finesse, there'd be your mount. Now this is actually a really good example because this one's actually split. So right there, this should all be one solid unit. But as you can see, this one's actually pretty trashed. Now, you can buy this as a whole unit, which I recommend. Or if you see here how there's like tabs, you can buy just the insert, and basically you press this out and press the new one in. It's a pain. I tried going that route. I wasn't a fan. I think for the same price, I ended up getting the whole unit to just bolt right in. Get it kind of put in place here. So on this mount, so where the bolt comes through, there's like a pinch thing that's got the nut attached to it. This one happened to be pretty worn out and was bending easily, so I had to hold this side with the nut against and hand thread, you know, a few threads in before I cranked it down. Otherwise it was just pushing out the nut and not grabbing anything. Make sure this wire's out of the way here. Now make sure you put it back in the way it came out. There are tabs that'll prevent you from going the wrong way, but it's easier just to put this back in once. So just remember how you brought it out, and it'll fall right back into place. Plug them back in. Get our 2 fan bolts down below here. Throw our cover back on here. If you're able to salvage these screws, go ahead and reuse them. And lastly, we're going to put our shield back on there, tighten them down. Now we're going to go ahead and move over to this side mount. There's 1 bolt to get from over here, side to side, and then 2 at the bottom that go into the trans, and then from up here we have 2 other ones that go into the trans. This I explained in a couple other videos. Basically for this is flathead here and these 2, unplug everything and just remove the whole top as one. The bottom is 2 10mm here and here. That gets the bottom out. Over here you're going to run into push pins, so you need like a flathead and 10mm. For example, these 2 right here. Factory wheels, if you have them, are 19mm. Okay, so now we got everything opened up here. There's 2 bolts down here going into the trans, the one going across, so it's actually a nut over here and then a bolt right here. As far as the plastics, all I advise to take out are the 2 screws that were straight on right here, so 2 10s. So you'll leave the piece that'll be here that's now broken on this one. So right here there's actually supposed to be a push pin, so you would pop that out. What you can do from there is you take this and just kind of fold it down under, just so it's out of your way. Break it loose. Remember to put a block between your jack and what you're jacking on here. Try to get as right underneath as you can. Okay. Should be enough to get it out. Okay. Find the sweet spot and here you go. Now up here is where it'll get a little tricky, because we're kind of tight on space. A little bit extra leverage. What I'm going to do is come under here, and I won't be able to help you visualize, but we go up just above your axle here. That's where the bolt is. Little finesse. There's the last bolt. I'll bring him down this way. Nice and easy. And that'd be your driver's side mount. So to put it in, we'll just reverse it. My suggestion when we put it in, kind of have this bolt in as you're putting it in, because it does get tight against the frame rail. Like I said, put it in the mount as you're putting it up in there. Thread that guy first. Get these 2 started. And then we'll jump up top and get this guy started. Slide it in from the front. It's not lined up. Use your jack to manipulate it. And then go ahead and tighten. Let's change that mount. So then you go ahead and bring this guy back over. Put him back in place. like that. So I'll be fender well all the way back. So all you had to do was take out those 2 10s right here that are straight in against that fender well. Go ahead and put those 2 back in. Put your push pin back in. If you broke it, take out the nub or whatever's left inside of there. If it's flush, take a small Phillips and you can actually pop it through, or like a punch. And your local auto parts store has those things. They're just a simple little push pin. And then up here, we're gonna go ahead and take it backwards. Start with our base for the airbox. So that completes our driver's side mount. Move on to the last one. Okay, so the third and final mount, which is apparently the bear. I'm fighting with this thing for a while now and can't seem to find a good way for, I guess, lay people to not insult anybody, but these videos I make to help the normal person save a little bit at the overpriced shops. Your exhaust is in the way, and I really don't want to have to drop the exhaust or show you guys dropping the exhaust, because to be honest, that downpipe is the worst thing ever to deal with. So that's it for this one, guys. A little bit disappointed that I couldn't get that back one out. You know, like I said, using normal tools. Those of you that have a shop at your disposal, you'll have universal joints, you'll have impacts, you'll have stuff to do that. I don't have that kind of stuff at this garage. And these videos are aimed for people that have a normal set of tools, you know, do it in the driveway, save a couple bucks from those dealerships and shops that want to rip you off. So that's it for this one, and we'll see you guys on the next one.